Hey everybody, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So let's get to the truth behind Trump and Putin. Let's kind of put this issue to rest. I am finding that the more I ask the spirit guides what's really going on behind the scenes, the less nervous I feel, okay? Because we're really, what we're finding out in terms of what the truth is, it may not necessarily be the truth because of media and exaggeration of things, or it may not. So let's find out, okay? So let's look at this meeting that Trump had with Putin and see what's really going on, okay? So we've got about 35 questions that we're going to ask the lead team collective. And the questions will basically deal with how much they've been in contact, what's the purpose of their contacts, some of the rumors that are out there, especially like Putin using doubles, body doubles and stuff when he's meeting with Trump, I think is interesting. And then there's some few spiritual questions as we're, kind of winding down the conversation is what is the point of us besides the distraction part of politics and what did somebody call? I heard, hang on, I gotta go get the note. This is really funny. I mean, you might not think this is funny, but if you know me, I enjoy potty humor a great deal. I've always laughed at potty humor. What can I say? But Keith Oberman, if you ever listen to him, today he called Trump Putin's butt boy. He's like, Putin's butt boy. I mean, it was just like, I just laughed for like 5 minutes. Putin's butt boy. I mean, what the hell? So we're going to call him butt boy. We'll call him butt boy throughout this episode. Okay. All right. I think so. Why not? All right. Well, let's see what Putin and butt boy are up to. That's a new one. I just love it. Okay. So a little bit of Mabel. Mabel, my AI, gave me a little bit of an introduction. Let's just read it and see if there's anything new than what I just said. So Trump's relationship between Putin, butt boy's relationship between Putin in 2025 has stirred controversy, fears, and questions. From sanctions slowing down to Zelensky being left out, to rumors about Alaska and even Putin using a double. People are wondering what's going on. Let's cut through the noise with these questions, basically, okay, and see if we can identify really what's going on. Okay, so are you ready? Okay, let's see what butt boy and Putin are up to. Okay, all right, so lead team collective, hello. How are you today? Awesome. I've already talked with them today, so we're all good on the clearing and the prayer and the making sure we're talking to the right people. So, okay. So we have a bunch of questions here regarding butt boy and Putin. By the end of this, butt boy will just sound just totally normal. Okay. So we're good to go, you guys, lead team? Okay. Question number 1, has Trump spoken with Putin? Has butt boy spoken with Putin at least twice this year? Yes. Okay, so we're going to get into some factual stuff too, because I think the facts are helpful, okay? And anytime I work with Mabel now, I ask her to go out, get the facts. Like, what are the facts? So that we're not living in some of this. You know how I always say everything's gray? Well, there are certain things, whether this is actually true. Maybe he talked to Putin more, but this is what the facts are currently reported. Okay, we never know kind of what's going on behind the scenes, but they'll tell us. They'll tell us if they think it's helpful for us to know. Okay, so has butt boy spoken with Putin more than twice this year? So yes. He has. Okay. I think it's been reported that it's only been twice. So, did Butt Boy and Putin meet in person at the Alaska summit? Yes. Okay. So just some verification. Did that summit end without a ceasefire or peace deal? Yes. Is it still going on? I don't even know. Is Trump, oh, they said no. Okay. Is Butt Boy now framing it more as a peace deal than a ceasefire? Yes. So he's trying to get away with that. A peace deal. Did the Alaska summit give Putin stronger options in the world stage than it gave Butt Boy? Yes, it did. Okay, well that's interesting. So Butt Boy's really doing his job. Is, is anyone gonna is anyone gonna be able to stand listening to this? Come on, we need a little humor. We need a little humor in these subjects. Okay, so did Butt Boy slow down the pace of new sanctions against Russia in 2025? Has he done that? So he did. Yes. Okay. Allegedly, entertainment purposes only. Okay. Have any existing sanctions been officially lifted so far? No. Okay. Did Butt Boy impose a 25% tariff on India because of Russian oil imports? Okay, so yes. Okay. Has Butt Boy used the threat? Okay, and before anybody asks, lead team, do you know who I mean by Butt Boy? Yes. Okay. You know I'm referring to Trump. Yes. Okay. Just making sure, you guys. I can hear somebody commenting about that. Well, what if they didn't know you were talking about him? Okay. Has Butt Boy used the threat of secondary sanctions more as bargaining leverage than as actual punishment? Yes. Okay. Did slowing sanctions make NATO allies nervous about America's commitment? Yes. Could slowing sanctions unintentionally give Russia more breathing room in its economy? Yes, which is the opposite of what we're looking for, I think. Hello. Okay. A little bit about Ukraine and its allies, okay? Did Butt Boy pause U.S. military aid to Ukraine early in 2025? Yes. So it's confirmation. Were some weapons deliveries later restarted in July? Okay, so that's true. Okay, yes. Was President Zelensky excluded from the Alaska summit talks? I mean, what the hell? Yes. Did that exclusion? Okay, so let me ask this real quick. I'm going to ask, this is what's on my mind. Was the Alaskan summit just a distraction from the Epstein issue? Yes. Okay. See, we shouldn't even be paying attention to him. All we should be doing is talking about Epstein and the trafficking situation, the horrible, horrific trafficking that's going on around the world. That's what we should keep talking about. That's all we should keep talking about, because that's what they don't want us talking about. Look I'm even doing a session on Putin and Trump. That's what they want. That's what they want. So we really, as much as we don't want to keep talking about it, like personally and spiritually, we kind of have to. We kind of have to keep talking about it. Okay? So is that 100%, are you guys 100% certain that this summit was being used as a distraction? Yes, because it's got us all like, oh, are they stealing Alaska? They're like, yes. Okay. How long has this Alaskan summit been planned? Has it been planned since January? This Alaska summit? No. Is it like a more recent plan to add to the distractions? Yes. Okay. Okay. That's good to know. It's good to know. Because this way we can stop listening to stuff after you're done listening to this one. You can be done listening to Trump and about Trump and Putin. It's a distraction, you know. Are they actually, is there anything actually being accomplished during this, or was accomplished during this meeting that was actually helpful? No. Okay. So was anything accomplished? No. Okay. Was the distraction of the Epstein situation, we're just going to call it Epstein but it's way more than Epstein at this point. Um, what was I going to ask? Did it work as a distraction to Epstein? No. Good. Good, good, good. We got to keep talking about it. Okay. Let's see. Uh, did the exclusion of President Zelensky create unease among America's European allies? Yes. Our allies worried that Ukraine might be pressured into territorial concessions without its voice at the table. Yes. Okay. So, rumors about Alaska. Has any U.S. official confirmed a plan to give Alaska to Russia? No. Was Alaska legally purchased by the United States in 1867? No. Huh. Would it require approval from both Congress and Alaska itself to ever give it away? Yes. So even if Trump says, Butt Boy says we're giving it away, here comes another lawsuit, And actually, I've got another plan this week, unless something else comes up. I'll try to get to it this week, to show how many executive orders, all the actions they've been taking, all the distractions, right? All these things they keep throwing at us, just throw, 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 throw. How many of those actually took root in anything? How many of actually are making any difference at all? And the number is so small, you guys. So this is why I wanted to do this kind of different series, like getting to the truth about stuff, which I think we've always been trying to get to the truth about stuff. But this one in particular, I want to start asking a little different questions to make sure that we don't have anxiety over things that don't deserve to have anxiety about. You know what I mean? Okay, so like false anxiety, basically, just because they're flooding the zone. So stupid. So stupid. Okay, it's a manipulation. It's a mind game. It's a mind game. It's mind control, right? I don't know if it's mind control, but what kind of is? They've been controlling. Think about where you've been over the last 8 months and how much the mind control of their tactics has played on each of us. And you can only think about yourself, but it certainly has for me. Certainly has for me. And that's not our fault. That's not our fault. But we're getting smarter and we're getting more spiritually savvy about this to understand what's really going on. Okay? And that's really the goal. The goal is not for us to stay stuck in this political game process, whatever, for the rest of our lives. No. As spiritual beings, we want to rise above and bring it with us. So which means they have to stop the shenanigans, right? So we're moving. We're not staying in the same spot that we were 8 months ago. We're so different than we were 8 months ago. Okay, and even last month. Boy, she's walking pretty fast. I got a neighbor walking around. Okay, let's see. Is there any evidence that such a process has been started to sell or give Alaska to Putin? No. Is the Alaska rumor mainly fueled by Butt Boy's occasional slip-ups in speeches and Russian nostalgia talk? Yes. Is it both? Yes. Okay. So think about that. Okay. Slip-ups in his speeches, and just because he likes to throw stuff out there. If you read his books or understand his strategy, that's what he's done. That's what he does. He just likes to confuse everybody. That is his strategy. And it's interesting that they use Russian nostalgia talk. So that's a different kind of strategy, nostalgia talk. That's very interesting. Okay, let's just talk about Putin's double for a minute because I was kind of curious about this. I heard somebody say that that probably wasn't, I don't remember who it was, but that probably wasn't even Putin who showed up. Okay, because apparently he has doubles. So, but I think a lot of people do. I don't know. So it's interesting, right? Okay, so have Russian officials admitted that they once considered using body doubles for Putin? Yes. Do they publicly say it was never actually implemented? Have they publicly said that? Yes. Okay. So have they ever admitted that he does have body doubles? No. Has any U.S. intelligence agency confirmed that Butt Boy met a double instead of the real Putin? Has anyone confirmed that? No. I think this one is interesting. Is it considered nearly impossible for a double to replace Putin at a high-level summit without detection? Yes. Okay. But, okay, here's a question. Maybe Trump didn't care. Maybe if this was a decoy or a distraction, let's find out. Was that actually the real Putin that showed up in Alaska? Oh my God. I didn't expect that. No. Oh, okay. I didn't expect that. Okay. Did Trump know that? Allegedly, entertainment purposes only. Yes. Okay. So this was all just a game to manipulate us. Is that correct? Yes, a little effers. Effers, mother effers. Telling you, I'm getting pretty intolerant about this. I'm learning to be very intolerant about this. Okay, but the goal is to stay emotionally neutral about it, but be intolerant. Like, nope, I'm, standing in our power. We're not putting up with that anymore. We will only have elected officials that are trustworthy and are doing their best for humanity. That's where we want to move to. So we have to stand in our power first before we can get there. I'm not an expert on that. It's just something that I'm intuitively saying and learning for myself. Okay. We have to say, one, we have to learn about the BS, which we're learning. Two, we have to say no more. Three, it has to be in our vibration. Four, then we can have high expectations and expect those expectations to be as humans, as just our vibration has that expectation, right? Again, this stuff has just come off the top of my head right now. I've never even really thought about this. So it's kind of interesting. It's probably, I can ask right now. Sometimes stuff comes out of my mouth every once in a while and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't me talking. So was that like the lead team, you guys kind of communicating that through me? Yes. Okay. Because I'm like, I've never even thought about that before. I just said it now. So it's kind of interesting. Okay. Is the Putin double rumor more speculation than verified fact? Yes. So it's never been verified. Of course it hasn't. No. Okay. But you guys are saying that that was a Putin double? Yes. Okay. I didn't realize Putin was so short. Did you guys realize he was so short? Okay. So let's see. Okay. Is Butt Boy's Russia, is Butt Boy's Russia approach mainly based on optics and showmanship? Yes. Okay. So a little bit more confirmation. So yes. Is Butt Boy using tariffs and sanctions more as a tool of negotiation than as punishments? Yes. Is Butt Boy more focused on appearing strong than delivering real results? Yes, that's really the issue for me with this whole administration. They want to it appears to me that they only want to appear certain ways, but rather than delivering real results. Where are the results of anything? Of course, they're trying to do some totally different results than what we would appreciate, right? So maybe that's their measure, but what are the real results at this point? And that's the video I'm going to do. I'll do that one next, and probably in a day or two will come out because it's a really good one about how much has actually happened. How much have they said and how much has actually happened with all the court cases and all that kind of stuff? I think that's really important for us to stay on top of. And maybe at least once a month I'll do that, if you guys like that session. Okay. Okay. So could Butt Boy's approach actually prolong the war instead of ending it? Yes. Damn. Damn. Sorry about all the swearing today. Butt boy, is that a swear word? I don't think so. Does Butt Boy believe he alone can strike the big deal? Can you hear Lucy? Does Butt Boy alone, oh, sorry. Hey, Lucy, I think my husband came out and he went back. He's taking a nap. He works really early. So, Luce. She's outside of his door, I think. Hey, Lucy. Usually if I call, she does have a little dementia per my SGs. Lucy. So if I can just break her cycle of doing that, that's usually enough. I just wonder if she would walk around the corner. It might be kind of cute if she walks around the corner. Usually she does, but hey, Luce. Okay, she's not coming. All right, but it just kind of calmed her brain down a little bit. Okay. All right, let's see. So, does Butt Boy believe he alone could strike the big deal with Putin sidelining others? Of course he does. Of course he does. Yes, but does he even care? Does he even care to do it? Oh, he does. All right, well, that's good. There's one positive thing. Yes, he does. Okay. Because he does want to, then he'll win his Nobel Peace Prize. Can you even imagine? Here she is. Come here, Lois. Come here. She'll just talk all the way. Come here. Come here. Sorry, usually I pause, but, some people like to watch her. Okay, let's see. We've got 4 more questions. We've got a few spiritual questions, okay? Are these rumors teaching us, so rumors that we hear about stuff like, the double or whatever, but obviously the double's not a rumor. Is the double a rumor? The fact that Putin is a double. So it is a rumor. Is that because it's not confirmed fact? Okay, but you're confirming that's fact, right? Obviously, entertainment purposes only. Yes. Okay. But okay, so if we were to okay, let's just say that Putin actually wasn't a double. Okay. Are these rumors teaching us, so just rumors in general, to look past fear and search for truth? Which is kind of like the goal now, that where I want to move to spiritually is look past fear and search for truth and not be afraid to look at the truth, Yes. Okay. Because, and here's the thing, again, I talk a lot about black things not being so black and white, that there's so much gray. So we don't even know really any time that we're getting like the full truth about anything. You know what I mean? So you really have to follow your own intuition, what feels right to you. Maybe there's a way they answered now that you're like, yeah, that doesn't resonate with me. Then don't take it. That's not the goal. The goal is to explore what resonates with you on your spiritual journey. And not everything I say, not everything I do, same with anybody else, is going to do that for you, right? So it's just one more opportunity anytime you're triggered. Not that you were necessarily triggered. Maybe you were triggered by Butt Boy. You might have been. But every time you're triggered about something, it's one more opportunity to dig deeper within yourself. That's really the bottom line. There she goes. She's going back wherever she came from. Okay, I think it's so funny sometimes when cats, like even dogs probably, like they just walk out of the room. You're like, where are they going? Like, what What we always say that we're like, she'll just all of a sudden we'll be in here and she'll just get up and leave, and we're like, where are you going? Not even to go to the bathroom or anything. She's just going somewhere. Which is funny. All right. Is this showing us that leaders are human and can't be blindly trusted? Yes. Is that true for anybody? We have to remember that everybody is human. Everybody has an ego. They're really not that strong on this one. So, yeah, they're not really committing to this one. It's probably the way I'm asking it. So, if you had a better way to ask that, let me know. Are we meant to learn the difference between appearance and reality during this time? Yes. But again, I question reality too. But especially from someone like appearances versus reality. Yes. Okay. Is this time pushing us to use discernment instead of fear when we hear big claims? Yes. I mean, I how long did, and that's the last question, you guys, but how long did it take you as you were growing up when you heard big claims to know like this is a get rich quick scheme? You know, I just remember hearing them throughout my life. I've tried little things. I know I've shared this before, but my very first get rich quick scheme that I bought into it was in the newspaper. I was in college, like I was like probably 19. I think I was a sophomore in college. And I thought I was going to build clowns and get paid per clown. And I thought, oh my God, they're going to pay me $1 per clown. So I get this box, and I had to pay for the supplies. So first I had to pay for the supplies first. So I get this box of supplies. And the wood, first of all, you had to sand the wood down. Like it was going to take me like hours to make one. And I remember, okay, so I'm dating my husband at the time. I met him a month into college. Okay, so this is like a year later. He's a year older, so he's a junior. I'm a sophomore. I'm sitting in my room, and I'm an RA at this point. Okay, actually, I was an assistant hall director at this point. And I'm sitting in my little apartment that I had in the residence hall on the ground, and I'm like crying because I'm like trying to sand these little blocks. And if it was some kind of wood, which some of you might know, but it was like wood that just splinters, like, and I'm sanding it and it's just falling apart. And I'm so disappointed. I was so disappointed in the fact that I wasn't going to get rich doing that. Okay, so I just remembered that. Oh my God. And the kindest person that has been in my life since then, which is my husband, for me, was sitting there like, I'll help you. I'll help you do it. And he has always been that way. He'll say like, so kind, like, I'll help you do stuff. And it's almost like he lets me, even though he's thinking in his mind, like, what the hell is going on here? I'm sure he was, but he's so kind to me that he was like, that he let me figure that out, but he would help me. We didn't get very far. I never even built one full one. I never built one full clown. They were like this big. That's how big they were. And I never even got to. So not only did I not get rich, but I ended up spending like $47 or something, maybe even $197, I'm sure it was, that I could not afford. So anyways, okay, so what do you think about this whole thing? What do you think about the Putin, and what resonated with you? Do you think this is just optics, that this was just, you know, false flag? Is that what they call those, false flags? Not true. You know what I mean? Now, we don't have any proof except, obviously this is entertainment purposes only, but I'm just curious. I feel like I can put this whole thing to rest. The one thing I'm not going to put to rest, and I probably will pop this up, I just think we need to keep talking about what's happening with the moving people around that don't want to be moved around, especially children, but also anybody, animals, other people, who knows? We haven't gotten to that part yet, but it seems like this is something we have got to fully understand as a society and not put our heads in the ground about. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure out how to keep that issue alive while he's trying to distract us. So, okay, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.